Hey everybody, this is AYG's Alpha Team, here with another video for the Division. This is going to be our video on the 6-piece AlphaBridge classified build. We're going to go over what I built out, and we're going to have some gameplay at the end, so let's get right into it. Like I said, it's going to be all 6 pieces of AlphaBridge. We are going to use the balance system because of the way the 6-piece AlphaBridge works. I'll go over that in a second. We are using SMGs. Now we'll go over that as well. Actually, let's go over the set bonuses first. So if you're unfamiliar with AlphaBridge, it is 100% health regen with set bonus 2, 5% weapon damage with set bonus 3, and then the AlphaBridge perk. If your weapon and secondary weapon is of the same category, they share the free talent. So all talent requirements are ignored for the weapon as well. So what that means is if you have 2 of the same archetype of weapon, like SMGs, ARs, you know the weapons. So I'm using SMGs. Now, if you're using an exotic, the exotic cannot share its free talent with other weapons. So the card counter will not be shared with this Police UMP45. You can see right here, it's not shared. But it can accept another SMG's free talent. So I was unaware of this until I built this out. So you can actually get a free talent added to your exotic. You can't share your free talent, but you can get one added. So you can see here, I'm getting Deadly added from my Police UMP45. So keep that in mind when you're building this out. And I believe it has to be in the primary slot. So remember that as well. So back to the talents or the set bonuses. So set bonus 5 gives you an additional 25 health regen and 10% weapon damage. So you get a total of 15% weapon damage added just based on the set bonuses. And then the set bonus 6. So if you guys want to read this, go ahead. Just in short, all it really means is you have your signature skill is just it's just constantly cycled every few seconds. And when you kill someone, whatever signature skill is on that cycle, it will activate. And then every time you kill someone after that, it will activate again to whatever signature skill is on that cycle. So also, you are unable to accept other signature skills from team members. So you got to keep that in mind too. Your signature skill only works for you. And you can't use your signature skill at will. You can't just pop your signature skill. It can only be activated by getting a kill. And then also, the reason I have all of my firearm stamina electronics balanced is because the more balanced it is, the longer the signature skill lasts once it's activated, for up to 10 seconds. So you can see my firearm stamina electronics are all relatively around 5,300, with the exception of firearms being a little bit higher. It's because I wanted to get the most out of the build. And if you're going to build out all 6 pieces of AlphaBridge, you might as well just try and get the balance. A lot of people try and run more firearms, more stamina, just to have a little bit more, firepower or longevity, but I wanted to go with the balance setup, so that's what we're doing. So we are going with SMGs. You can see we have 2 pieces of electronics, the backpack and the mask, 2 pieces of stamina, the chest piece and the knee pads, and then 1 piece firearms, and then all of our mods are going to be firearms. So because we're not running, 8K firearms, 10K firearms, we had to find a way to supplement our damage output with our weapons. So that's why we're going with SMGs, and that's why we're going with crit chance everywhere we can. So crit chance you can get on your mask, gloves, and holster, and we have it on all 3. Mask, gloves, holster. And let's just go through all the pieces here. So chest piece, we're running exotic damage, resilience, and health with a little bit of ammo capacity. Now, I built this build out mostly for PvP, so last stand and skirmish, but it also works in the dark zone just as effectively, if not better, because you don't get mid-max down. So, stamina on my chest piece with some health. Again, we're going with crit chance on the mask. I would rather the minor attribute be something like, damage to elites if I'm using this for PvE, or something like burn resistance for PvP. But this is just what we had to go with because we had to roll out both the minor attribute and the major skill, so it had to be electronics. Knee pads are crit damage. Because we have 2 pieces in stamina, our toughness is going to be a little bit higher than normal. So 425 isn't very high, but since it's enough, we didn't really have to roll for health or skill power here. because we want to get the most out of our weapons because we're only rolling 5,400 firearms, so we wanted to get crit damage here instead. Also, minor attributes are, ideally burn, bleed, and shock, or disrupt, or disorient, rather. I went with burn because I think that's the most effective right now. Since burn can actually stop you from firing back at somebody as well as shock, I feel like burn is just going to be the good choice here. Backpack is more crit damage, and again, some more burn resistance. You can go with something like ammo capacity if you're going to be rolling Darkstone a lot more, just to kind of give you, because you're using the same two weapons, same archetype of two weapons, you're going to be running out of ammo a little bit faster, so might be a good idea. I went with burn resistance. I just prefer it. That's why we did that here. Gloves are going to be crit chance, crit damage, and SMG damage. Because, again, we need to supplement that power since we're running a relatively low firearms. So we need to get the most out of our weapons, so we're rolling for lots of crit chance and lots of crit damage. And again, the holster is going to be crit chance. Now, like I said, we did go for a balanced build, so that's why all of our firearm, stamina, and electronics are relatively close together. And our weapons are going to be SMGs because they come inherently with crit chance. So with all of our gears rolled for crit chance wherever we can, our house is going to have responsive, hurried, and the deadly free talent from the police UMP45, and then also card counter. Now you can also run this build. You don't necessarily need a house if you don't have one. You can roll this with an MP7. It also works well with an MP7 or an MP5. I had both of them, and I got a couple shots of me using the MP7 too, just so you can see. And it's just as effective. I mean, the house is obviously a little bit more, hits a little bit harder, but those weapons as well are just as good. Just keep that in mind. And I always go with hurried because you're not going to be, especially since I can't share the free talent with my police UMP45, I'm not going to be switching weapons that often. So I need to have a reload speed as fast as possible. And with hurried, it can get all the way down to a second, which is the same time for weapon swap. So it's just as effective. So if you want to run this without swapping weapons too often, definitely put hurried on there. Responsive, and then of course deadly because we're trying to get that crit hit damage. The police UMP45 I'm not really using. It's really just here for the talent. It has a little bit better range than the house, so sometimes I will pull it out just to do that. But again, we're not sharing the free talent, so it's not as effective as it should be, which is why we're just going mainly with the house. And all of our weapon mods are going to be crit chance, crit damage wherever we can get it. We rolled 1 for crit chance to get us closer to 60% crit chance, which is the max, and the rest are crit damage. So that's why we have that one piece that's why we have the small optics as crit chance. Now, before I forget, all of our mods, again, are going to be firearms crit chance. You could go firearms health, but again, we wanted to get as close to 60 with the crit chance as possible. We could have run a pulse, but we're not running a pulse, and I'll explain that in a second. So that's why we need to get crit chance on all of our gear mods and everything. And then our performance mods are all going to be first aid self-heal because we will be rolling a first aid. I need to make sure I mention all the performance mods as well, just because it does play a factor. And again, UMP45, we're not really going to use it, but it is, rolled relatively the same for crit chance and crit damage. All right, now let's look at our skills. We are rolling first aid with booster shot because, again, we need all that damage we can get. And one important thing to keep in mind when using AlphaBridge, it's all about that first kill. Once you get that first kill, you're going to start proccing your signature skills, and then those are just going to take over, and you're going to have more sustainability and more fire damage. So just keep that in mind. We're working towards getting all that damage right off the bat, and then working with our signature skills afterwards. And then Immunizer to get the cleanse from all the bleeds and everything that, that's out there now. Talents are going to be critical save, combat medic, adrenaline, and precision. This is just to get a little bit more crit chance and damage if they're pulsed, but we're not reliant on this. Just keep that in mind as well. This is really more of a judgment call for how your game style is. I really go with combat medic because I'm always in a team, usually playing with, in skirmish or last stand. And then the rest is just up to you. If you feel like one is none is going to help you save that ammo, or on the move getting that reduce incoming damage, also a good choice. Steady hands if you want to shoot from cover. There are no really bad calls. The only one I would say you should definitely go with is adrenaline, just to give you that cleanse from predators, mark bleeds, and things like that. So just a good idea there. And then let's go over our character stats. So you can see right here, Weapon damage is 21%. You're getting like 50, I think I did the math. You're getting like 57% weapon damage boost based on your house. So you're getting a ton of weapon damage boost from the card counter, the set bonuses, the responsive, and there was something else. The weapon talent. So like you're getting a ton of damage. So crit chance is almost at 60%. Crit damage is 121. All good. Headshot damage for a little additional bonus. A little bit of accuracy from one of our mods. Range is relatively good. I mean, it's a SMG, so you can't expect it to be great. Reload time is irrelevant because we're using that hurried talent a lot. All weapon damage bonus is 15%. That's from the set bonuses. SMG damage is 12%. That's another place where we get additional damage for our weapon. No damage to elites, but again, you can get that on your gear to up that up if you're going to use this for PvE. Threat because we're using Loud Vent Break. And skill power, we don't have any skills, don't have any signature skill resource gain because we're working with weapons on this build. Max health is 2289, which isn't too bad considering our armor is over 32%, which is good. Health regen is not bad, but again, health regen doesn't activate until you actually exit combat, until you're out of combat completely, so it's not really that big of a factor. Exotic damage resilience, because we have that on our chest piece. Blind, we got a burn almost to 50, that's good. Disrupt is there too. Wish we had some shock, but we don't. The rest of these are irrelevant. Alright guys, let's get into some gameplay, show you how this works. There's really only one thing you gotta remember, guys, when using the Alpha Bridge, and it's that it's all about that first kill. Getting that first kill is the most important thing because that's going to set off the chain reaction of getting all the other signature skills to proc, and then you can just milk it from there. You can see right here, just pop attack. Now I can move forward with confidence, knowing that I'll be able to put down some people. Popped another recovery link there. Plenty of health, plenty of kill power. You got to just make sure that you are alive and that you're going to get that one kill, and then after that you can move forward, move into the fray. So you can see right here I got to stay in cover because I still haven't gotten that kill, so I don't have that great recovery or the great tack. So I get that kill, and now I can move forward. Keep putting that DPS on people. And end up eventually just kind of taking over the position and just moving forward. Just keep always staying in the fight because you know you can. I'm going to let the rest of these play out, guys, and I will see you at the end.
The fortification has been destroyed by hostiles. System active at Alpha.
There it is, guys. 6-piece Alpha Bridge. Just remember to get that first kill, and then everything will just chain reaction into devastation. So go ahead and leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more from regaming.com. Also, shoot us a comment if you have any questions, you want to give us any feedback. It's always appreciated. Until then, go ahead. Game on.
Game on! Yeah, game on!